Howdy guys, welcome to the cave. I'm Mark, and you're watching Blue Street Customs. Hey guys, welcome. As you know, and you've seen, I've made this paint rack, right? Now you all know how I do it. If you want, go check out my video. I'll put it up here in the top right hand corner. But anyways, those craft paints, the Vallejo, things like that, the craft paints, that's what I started with when I started my YouTube channel. Those are good for pretty much all types of crafting. All my dioramas, terrain building, anything like that. Vallejo, I use them mainly for minis. I'll use some of my dollar store craft paints as well for the minis. But now that I've gotten into models, right, doing ships and stuff, these dollar store craft paints don't really work. Okay. Now, the Vallejo, they're pretty good. Don't get the tester acrylic. To me, they are garbage. But that's a totally different thing. Also, I've got things like my spray activator, my Tamiya glues, things like that, my Weld On 3 paint brushes. I've made my bin here for holding my styrene and stuff. But I want to make something better than that, but I got some hole punches here, and then I've got my dollar store bins, things like that. Put a magnet on the wall, again, from the dollar store, hold bunch of my tools and stuff, just little things like that. But with the models, I've had to go out, and I've wanted to, I had to buy better paint. So what I went to was these Tamiya lacquer paints. All right, so of course now I'm starting to get a collection of them. All right, I got a couple of acrylics right there. I'm putting an order in for a bunch more. So I'm building my collection, but they don't quite fit in here, and I need somewhere to keep them because, well, that's just not going to do. So my plan is, I'm going to move these over just a little bit. Nothing major, but I'm going to build a paint rack, a totally different design that will fit from here to here and from here to here. And I'm going up to roughly here. All right, I can move this if I make it a little taller or whatever, but it's going to hold up to 120 of these little jars. Okay, doesn't seem like it will, but it will, trust me. Now, I'm making mine at specific dimensions that are will fulfill my needs and my requirements. So, if you try to build this, more than welcome to. My suggestion is double check where you're putting it and maybe readjust things to fit your needs and your requirements. Okay, I've measured things like my slow dry acrylic retarder, the heights of my glues, different things like that. These won't be on it, they're too tall. I'm building 2 drawers into mine, so I'll have drawers kind of like this, right? Now, I've seen these online, and this is where I'm getting my design from, but they're made from laser cut wood, MDF, whatever they are. And the one I see that I can get here in Canada that's going to be pretty much identical to what I'm building was $97 Canadian. That's freaking stupid. Okay, I'm going to build this out of foam core from the dollar store. It's going to suit my needs, and it's going to perform just as good as the wood one. May not be as strong, but it'll still do exactly what I need it to do, and do exactly the same thing as that one from Amazon. Now, there's other companies that make these, and again, here in Canada, they're just as expensive or even more so than Amazon. So I'll be putting up on the screen here a quick little clip of what I've drawn, right? I started out with my plan, and then I drew it out full scale. Now, what I'm going to do is, this is just poster board from the dollar store. As you can see, 2 for $1. They're not expensive. You know, you're better to cut this up than to cut up foam board, even though foam board from the dollar store is still cheap, but this is easier to work with just to get your initial shape. Once you know that this shape is going to work, then you know you can take your pattern, put it onto your foam core board, and cut everything out. So if this shape works, as you can see, it's a bit of an L, right? It's only low here. Here's my height for my bottles. Here, this is flow improver. And as you see, that's sitting in there, and I'm below it. So I'm good. These here, the jars will work perfectly, and they're wide, deep enough that I can put 2. That's how I'm holding 120. Not that I have 120 yet, but they will hold 6 across, 6 jars across, right? So 6 across, 2 deep. So you're looking at 60 jars for all the ones that I'm building. Now, if you want higher, if you don't want it as high, if you need it wider, you know, deeper, if you want this deeper or something, maybe you're using different types of paints like the Citadels or Hubble or, you know, anything like that. Or maybe you have bigger Tamiya jars, because I know there's some out there that are bigger. You can adjust this for whatever is going to accommodate what you want to put on it. Hell, you don't even have to put paints on it if you don't want to. You can use it, put minis on or something if you want to display minis, right? Maybe ones that you're working on. You know, you can put, say, a bunch of paints down here and put your half-painted minis up top or something like that. So when you paint one, you put it back on the shelf, you grab another one, you're good to go. You got your paints in front of you. You know, maybe your paintbrushes in the drawers. Now, again, in the bottom, I showed you where I'm going. That's why this here is only 6.5 inches for me. Right? Now, you may want to go longer. You may want a deeper drawer. You know, that's up to you. This here is just going to show you the basic design and how I'm doing it that's going to accommodate me. So I'm going to get this cut out. I'm babbling on too much. I'm going to get this cut out. I'm going to test fit it over there where I showed you. And if that works, I'm going to cut out my pieces. All right. Now I'm going to need 3 of these. And then, of course, I got to cut my top piece, my bottom piece, back piece, and then all of these little shelf pieces, right? And then once I've got that built, then I'll start looking at making the drawers. Again, the drawers aren't going to be too big. They're only going to be about 2 inches tall, about 7.5 inches wide kind of thing. Of course, roughly 6 inches deep, give or take. I'll figure all that out later. So I'm going to get this cut out, and I'll be back to show you where I'm at. Okay, guys. So here's what I've got. I've got all 3 of these things cut out. 2 sides in the middle. Okay. Now, the only thing I got to do on these is I got to mark out my high spot, and then every 2 inches after that. I'll show you that here in a second. I've got all my intermediate middle shelves, which will go in between, like so, every 2 inches apart. Now, I've also got the very top piece for these. Okay. I've got the very bottom piece, and I've got the top of the bottom half. Here, I'll show you quickly. The one piece will slide in the middle because it's all notched out for it. One piece on the side like so, one on that side, and of course all of these will go in here. All right, kind of like that. And then once I've got all that done, I've got to lay it out, make sure it's square, and get a full-size sheet of black foam core. I can put that on there, and I can cut that out, and then I can glue that down. The drawers, I'm not going to worry about quite yet until I've got everything completely built and I know everything's going to be square and stable. So I'm going to get to gluing this thing up, and when I'm done that, I'll be back. Okay guys, well, this thing's almost done, and it's probably as far as I'm going to go for now. Now, I did record more stuff, but for some reason it's nowhere to be found. So anyways, I got that, got the shelves in, got the paints on. Now, as you can see, you know, I can take them, go too deep. Now, I've got a lot more coming. You can see down here, I've got, you know, my glues and stuff, some paint retarder and flow improver. I've got more paints on order. Now, I did have to take down my magnet that was up there. I'll move that. I'll clean some of that stuff up over there. But I made it in such a way that, you know, when I have my shelf here, it's actually higher than the mat, so it'll slide right over top. So this here is going to work out awesome for me. I know I could have taken a little more time, you know, made sure everything was a little more level, stuff like that, but I'm not too worried about it. It's going to do what I want. Maybe I'll revisit it later on and build a better one, bigger one. So I'll have that one, and I'll have this one. Now, if you want to see how I made this one, I'll make sure to put a link up in the corner for you. You can go check that out. And yeah, this one's made to accommodate me, but this gives you a basic idea of how to do this so that you can go ahead and make your own that's going to fulfill your needs the way you need it done. You may not need that big space. You may not need that many shelves. Maybe you want to make it wider. Who knows? It's all up to you. But this here gives you a basic idea of what it can do. If I get a chance, I will record how I make the drawers. You could leave it open just like that if you want. But those drawers, they'll probably be just an update in some video somewhere. Or maybe I'll just make another one just on those drawers alone. So other than that, I think that's going to do for this video. So make sure you hit that like button. That helps out a lot. Definitely hit that subscribe and the bell button so that you can get notified when I post videos of different things that I make like this, or, you know, different models and stuff. Don't forget to check me out on Facebook, Instagram, and I do now have a Facebook page. Also, I have Patreon. All those links will be down in the description, so if you feel like it, go check those out. Give me a follow there, and you can get different notifications and updates of things I'm doing on there. So until next time, later.